All right, I got Wes from DC. All right, Wes, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
So is this your first time in Arizona?
Not in Arizona, but my first time here at Desert City.
Okay, first time in Desert City, okay.
Yep. I've been to Phoenix before, just flying through and stopping through for a couple other things, but never spent a lot of time in the city. So I'm excited for the weekend, get to compete and then get to explore a little bit, hopefully.
That's awesome, man. So from DC originally, or how long you lived there?
No, from Oklahoma, actually.
Okay.
So I went to DC. I lived out in California for a little while in the LA area,
Okay.
and then I ended up in DC coaching out there.
Awesome. So full-time coach?
Yep, full-time coach and personal trainer.
That's cool. What's the gym that you go to?
I'm out of Blue Crab Fitness,
Okay.
but I train with Mayhem.
Okay, awesome. What got you into CrossFit?
Yeah, so it's actually a kind of cool story. There's some stuff going on in my life where I needed to make friends. I needed a new group of friends, right? I was kind of unhappy with the group of people I was around and kind of surrounded myself with. And I ended up in a CrossFit gym. Someone was like, hey, come check this out. And I wasn't super motivated or super convinced to do it. And they convinced me to go check it out. And I fell in love with it. I liked the atmosphere. The people were really awesome. Just like a new competitive drive. It was a lot of fun when I started.
That's awesome. And then tell me about the community.
Yeah,
either at the gym that you were at or the gym. Yeah, it sounds like you kind of been in a lot of different places. So
yeah, I've been around since 2021. Like I think I've been at 4 or 5 different affiliates since then, just moving around and different life stuff. And dude, the community is unbeatable. I think you're never gonna find a group of people that we always talk about it. Like, there's not a group of people you can leave a wallet around. Like, you don't leave a wallet open at a gym, right? Or you don't leave your bag open, or you don't leave your stuff around. And it's just people that you can trust, and kind of at a very basic level kind of are looking out for you. I love that aspect of the community, and the community's also got me through some really hard times, dark times. So I think that's something that I'll always be really grateful for. No matter how long I do this, it's just the stuff that CrossFit kind of brought me through.
Talk a little bit about that.
When I started, like I said, I was going through some really rough stuff and didn't have the chance to really have anyone to hang out with, and I felt super lonely and really depressed. I was going through an investigation. I had gotten in some legal trouble, and I was going through this investigation, and I started hanging out with people that had no clue what this all was about, and it kind of offered me a place to escape from that was going on in my life, because at the time, right, all my life, all I could think about when I was, awake, before I went to bed, when I woke up first thing in the morning, was just this situation, right, and this ongoing process. And so the people really gave me an escape from that. The people in the CrossFit gave me an escape from that, and I think that was awesome, and that was it was like that all the way through that whole process. It ended up being several year-long process.
Wow.
And throughout the whole process, the people were right alongside me, and eventually I started trusting people more, bringing people in, and it was cool, man. It's cool to see and have people now that I can really, I can trust with everything. I don't have to, I don't have to be a different person. I can be myself and, admit I've been through this and I've made these mistakes and come out of it, and people still love you for who you are and the mistakes you made.
Absolutely, man. You see that in your community at DC?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the affiliate I'm at right now is called Blue Crab CrossFit. It's in Jessup, Maryland, which we're 40 minutes outside of DC, very close to Fort Meade. So the community there is awesome, dude. I don't coach any classes there right now. I just do personal training and a lot of online coaching. But I do some personal training there, like I said. And just walking in, everyone's super nice. You're never gonna run into someone that's a jerk there. Everyone's greeting and welcoming you when you come in the door, and they're all, like I said, looking out for you.
That's awesome. Tell me about your competitive, getting into competitions.
Yeah.
When did that start? What brought you to this place now, competing at Desert City and beyond that? So
I started competing pretty much almost immediately in 2021. I was super competitive, and so I came in and I had played sports in college, and then I was in the Marine Corps for several years, and so I'm a really competitive guy. And so I started in 2021. I think my first competition was October of 2021. I think I started in May, and I was competing by October.
That's
so
awesome.
I was I'm just gonna throw myself in there, and I came in with a little bit of an athletic background, so it was easier for me to pick up some stuff, which was really, really nice. But I started in 2021 competing. 2022 was my first year doing the open and quarterfinals and stuff, and then in 2023 I went to the North America East semifinal with a team from 12 Labors CrossFit. So I was on a team at semifinals that year, and then this year I just barely missed qualifying for individual semifinals in the East. So I got penalized on the box step-ups, which got everyone, So I got penalized on that and got bumped out. I was like one spot in, and then I ended up like 3 spots out. So I ended up getting like a minor penalty. But bringing it to like Desert City, I reached out to Desert City in the summer, and I was like, hey, I missed a qualifier. I'm interested in competing out here. And they say, hey, we're not offering anyone else spots right now if you're not doing the qualifier. I said, okay, I understand. And I just kind of kept reaching out and kept being persistent. I was like, hey, let me in. And then they hit me up like 2 weeks ago, like no joke, probably like 15 days before the competition. And they were like, hey, we got a spot if you want it. And I was like, I'm in, I'll do it. So I told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, I'm booking flights. She's like, you're what? You're going where? And then I convinced a buddy of mine to come out here with me. So
that's cool. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. One of the things we talked about, you hit on it, man. It's like talk about going through the desert, and desert meaning meaning the obstacles or the challenges of life, right? The sufferings of life. One of the things that we're guaranteed is there's going to be suffering.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about it, but what would be some encouragement you would give people, or maybe even what you gave to yourself as an encouragement of going through some really hard times in life? How would you talk to them about going through the desert?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually talked to like a good buddy of mine about this yesterday. We were talking about, you see your life going a certain direction, right? And there's something like, when I was 19, I joined the Marine Corps and I wanted to do special ops in the Marine Corps, right? So I went through selection for Force Recon. I ended up getting selected, going through that whole process, becoming a Force Recon Marine. After about 3 years doing that, I got in some trouble, and that got stripped away from me, right? So something I worked for years, something that my identity was kind of wrapped around, that's like all I was, right? Was this Recon Marine. I was like big and tough and untouchable, right? And nothing could stop me. And so I went through that. I got arrested. I went through this like long investigation like I told you about. And I think that, I could look back on it and it'd be easy to say, oh, I wish I hadn't gone through that, or I wish I hadn't experienced that. But that would be lying, because where I'm at right now, I can't tell you how many people I can have a conversation with inside the gym, outside the gym, and I can say, hey, I know you're going through something right now, and it doesn't even have to be the same thing. It doesn't even have to be related. It can be something totally different. But you say, hey, I've been through something. I've been through some really hard times, through like a desert, and this is what got me through. And it was really just the belief, right, that things are gonna get better. There's the light at the end of the tunnel, right? This isn't forever. And sometimes, like when you're in the thick of it, right? When I was in the thick of my, my like federal court system and like all this stuff, right? I like couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And there were people along the way, in the gym, outside the gym, that helped me see the light at the end of the tunnel. They say, hey, like, this isn't forever, right? You made a mistake, you messed up, but this isn't forever, and you're eventually going to get out of this. I think that's something that I'm able to like impart to people now, is when people are going through something really hard, it's easy to become not only like short-sighted and only see like what's immediately in front of you, but also become isolated. Like people don't want to reach out and talk to people about it, especially as guys, right? We're like, no, I don't need to talk to anyone about it. I can handle it on my own. It's like, I'm not telling you can't handle it on your own, but I want to help you. I want to make it easier and make that process smoother for you than it was for me, right? Because I went through a lot of like really, really hard times, being really depressed, being suicidal. Like I went through a really, really dark time in my life where I didn't think I was going to make it out. And then to make it out of the other side, like that just gives you the power to talk to people and be like, hey, I've been in like the low, right? I've gone and say, I don't want to live anymore. I don't even want to do this life thing anymore, right? Not a job or not a sport or anything. But like I don't want to do life anymore. And to come to people and be able to say like, hey, this is where I was, they automatically then think, okay, hey, he understands. Like he can understand, even if our situation isn't the same, right? If they're going through a divorce or they're going through, something challenging with their work or whatever, even if I don't understand the specifics of it, like I go through that with them and I say, hey, I understand being at rock bottom. I understand like not having anywhere to go. I understand sitting in a courtroom thinking I'm going away for, a really long time. Like I understand all those feelings, and I want to help you through that. I want to help you see that A, you're not alone in whatever your struggle is or whatever you're going through, and then B, there's an end. There's always an end, and that's something that I learned, in the Marine Corps doing the special ops stuff. Is like, no matter how cold it is, no matter how dark it is, like you're getting surf torture in the water, like you're going through all this stuff, there's going to be an end. Like there's always an end, and people just get so like short-sighted and locked in on what they see right then.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the interview. Looking forward to seeing you compete.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for being here.